Hello, and welcome to another chapter of a tome pulled right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your shrewd host, Lothrin, and there's ever so much more data to relay. So let's get to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a cozy spot, and pay accurate attention to Fleet Part 31. Advancement. Let's not mince words here, fellow Jakuls. The new requests are in from HQ, and most of them are insane. We may have outdone ourselves with that javelin delivery. Cam fell silent as Kath began welding in her lap. Kath! Can the rest of us have some of your valuable attention? He shouted her way. His sister tilted her welding mask his way, covering what she had been working on in her lap with the cloth mat she had been protecting her legs with, to lean silently back in her chair and cross her arms. Thank you. Cam traded a steady stare with each of his division leaders in turn. Does anyone have any suggestions on which requests we accept and which ones we ignore offhand? I really don't feel the ground vehicles are any sort of priority, Kath uttered, drawing a baleful stare from Mera. Mera, do you have something to share with the rest of us? Cam moved in to keep the two of them from each other's throats, a far too common occurrence of late. A ground vehicle would help drastically with hauling tools, supplies, harvests, and equipment back and forth between Strife 1 and my base, Sweethearth. Really, hun, you have to come up with an official name to make it easier for future shipments to be tracked between multiple bases. Don't call me hun in this room, Cam replied coldly to Mera. She whipped a stunned glance his way, but catching his tone and his features, Mera settled into a relative calm. There would be words about this later. Fuck me, Cam thought at himself. What's the point of a ground vehicle? Kath threw the question around the room like a cudgel. Mera launched up to her feet and out of her chair. What the hell do you mean by that? Mera, sit down! Cam raised his voice. Mera thought about her actions slowly, lowering herself back into her chair. There would be so many words about this later. Kath, elaborate. Thank you, Cam. Kath flipped back her welder's mask, addressing the other department heads. We make spacecraft. Why bother making a ground vehicle? What's the point? I say we design a different ship that fits multiple queries from HQ and just use it for any need we can force upon it. Any suggestions come to mind, Kath? Vildar asked while he skimmed through the exceptionally long list of requests delivered this morning, along with several transport shiploads of recalled weapons for dismantling. What about this boarding ship and this troop transport here? Kath asked, signaling out two very different request lines. We can't make two ships. We still have several new orders of javelins to construct and deliver, and we're undermanned and understaffed as is, Vildar responded casually. Not two ships, but one that can be refitted in a hangar or carrier to do both jobs. Lotum took the reins of the conversation. Do you have any idea of how much work that would take, developing an entirely new modular systems from scratch? Hold on. Cam interjected his weighty opinion into the discussion. What do you have in mind, Kath? Well, I was talking to that old admiral again about a ship his team had been planning to make but never actually got to. They had designs in the works, but not enough power to provide the RAM required to penetrate enemy ships. And what we have is, given the right circumstances and engineering, is almost limitless power with our new designs, or yours, Cam. The The pike, or whatever he called it, was meant to ram through the armor and lift these two wedge blades to allow troops to just march into an enemy vessel. Enough, Kath. Spare us the details. These meetings are for ideas and solutions, not exactitude. Cam stopped his elder sister from explaining every last facet of whatever was on her mind. This pike sounds like a good idea, though. We could make 2 to 4 of them, smaller versions, for testing purposes, so that you, Mera, and others around here can utilize them as needed, and then we could also show them off to generals and admirals for draft orders. Vildar, do you still need to leave immediately to go see your family? Already put it off for longer than usual. Sorry, Cam and everyone else, but I really must be seeing the wife I miss so much and the 3 monsters that I just have to spend more time with. Well, go ahead, Vildar, and give your family our best wishes. Cam dismissed Vildar with a nod, who got up and waved to everyone with a flourish as he exited, eliciting more than one smile to lighten the mood in the room. Okay, who wants this project? I have a few idle hands in my department, Estok spoke up. Even with Bozon gone and in his own position at this table, we've set up an efficient production line, but boredom and lethargy sets in pretty quick among the seedies. Seedies? Cam was the first to ask, as curiosity got the best of him. It's slang we use for the division, concept and designed, CD, CDs. One of the boys came up with this pin. Estok pointed out the pair of seeds carved and etched into umbra plate on his sleeve. Nice follow-through. Do me a favor. Take them off of your uniform. Cam wasn't exactly yelling or angry, but he was very close to it in some strange manner. Oh, sure, Commander. Any reason why? Estok wasn't the only member of their meeting perplexed by Cam's reaction. Until it's an official stamped emblem with a flag, a banner, and a patch. You can't put it on your uniform. Any reason for the new rules, Cam? Kath asked, leaning forward ever so slightly. We're drawing attention, Cam replied at the top of his voice. Admirals, the fleet, far and wide. They're taking notice and putting in requests to visit our bases in the Grigari system. When the first of them gets here, likely in less than a few months, I expect everything to be shipshape, no matter how large or small. This means all Daramore military law followed to the letter and intent of its inscription. Do I make myself clear? Do I make myself clear? Cam shouted at the other soldiers in attendance, seeming more than a little strained by the effort to summon such a force of sound. Yes, Commander! Estok, Lotem, and Vozon shouted in unison. Used to this sort of treatment from higher-ranking officers, Kath, Mera, and a few others just seemed frightened and unnerved. Cam judged them based on their reactions. It appears I've let this go too long, too much on my mind. We've had a lot on our plates, but regardless, this is a military facility, and soon, Cam turned his gaze toward Mera for emphasis, a burgeoning network of bases on Strife 1, and likely expanding out into the Grigari system proper. Estok, you served most of your time in Daramore as an NCO before you transferred into the Engineering Corps, correct? Yes, Commander. Estok replied, gulping a little, and nodded ever so slightly toward Cam. Draw up basic drills and exercise routines, schedules, rotations, guard shifts, and security protocols. I'd like to see the basic setup by the end of the day. On a base this size, that would normally take at least several... Are you questioning me, Estok? Cam asserted his authority back in Estok's direction. No, sir, Estok replied, sort of half smiling on the side of his face Cam couldn't see, as if he had missed this sort of treatment from a superior officer. Everyone is dismissed, Cam directed toward them rather calmly. Mera moved to speak with Cam as the others began to filter out of the meeting room. I said, everyone. I meant everyone, Mera. I would love to talk with you. I would. I would love to spend time with you. I would love it so very much. But you and I both have a massive pile of work to see to. And we both have to make progress on those mountains before we spend time with one another again. She nodded, looking more than a little hurt by Cam's abrasive tone, but accepted his orders and followed them in silence. And so it is. Our time together has once more come to its end. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the tale as much as I have the telling of it. As always, I've been your effective host, Lothran, and this was Fleet Part 31, Advancement. Another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, we must once again part ways. Korvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, sir, Lothran. Oh, wow, Cam seems to be more than a little agitated by the potential arrival of admirals and generals to his operations in Gregory. I wonder if... No, that's okay. I think I'll just move on. Back to my work. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't you let me catch a single one of any of you leaving any of that mean, rude, or terrible stuff, though. You keep all that junk to yourselves, you got it? Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget that we strongly implore each and every one of you to stay safe out there. See you again tomorrow for Fleet Part 32. Otto was right. He did make this much more interesting than it seemed in the notes. Good night and good luck, everybody. You'll need it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.